Before there was John Wayne dominating the silver screen, there was one man who defined what it meant to be a cowboy in America. Roy Rogers, the singing cowboy who rode into the hearts of millions and built an empire that would make him one of the wealthiest entertainers of his era. But what did the King of the Cowboys kingdom actually look like? Today, we're taking you on an exclusive tour through the remarkable homes and ranches of Roy Rogers, from his modest beginnings to the sprawling estates that housed one of Hollywood's most beloved families. Born Leonard Franklin Sly in 1911 in Cincinnati, Ohio, Roy Rogers grew up in poverty during the Great Depression, a far cry from the glamorous life he would later lead. His family moved to California during the Dust Bowl era, where young Leonard picked peaches and drove gravel trucks to make ends meet. But he had a dream and a guitar. After forming the Sons of the Pioneers, one of the most influential Western singing groups of all time, he caught the attention of Republic Pictures, who transformed him into Roy Rogers in 1938. The name change was just the beginning of a meteoric rise that would see him star in over 100 films and become one of the most recognizable faces in America. Rogers wasn't just a movie star, he was a cultural phenomenon. Throughout the 1940s and 50s, he reigned supreme as the top Western star, commanding impressive salaries and building a business empire that extended far beyond Hollywood. His marriage to Dale Evans, the Queen of the West, created one of entertainment's most beloved power couples. And together, they raised a large blended family while maintaining squeaky clean images that made them household names. His faithful horse Trigger and dog Bullet became nearly as famous as Rogers himself, cementing his status as an American icon. At the height of his career, Roy Rogers' net worth was estimated at around $150 million in today's dollars, an astronomical sum for an entertainer of that era. His wealth came not just from his film and television work, but from shrewd business investments, including the Roy Rogers restaurant chain, merchandising deals, and extensive real estate holdings. These financial successes allowed him to acquire several remarkable properties throughout his life, each reflecting different chapters of his legendary career. Let's saddle up and explore the homes where the King of the Cowboys hung his 10-gallon hat. The crown jewel of Roy Rogers' real estate portfolio was undoubtedly his ranch in Chatsworth, California, nestled in the San Fernando Valley. This wasn't just a home, it was a working ranch that sprawled across more than 300 acres of prime California landscape, complete with mountains. As a backdrop that could have been pulled straight from one of his Western films, Rogers purchased the property in the 1940s when Chatsworth was still genuinely rural, long before suburban development would transform much of the valley. The main house on the Chatsworth Ranch was a sprawling Spanish colonial revival-style mansion that perfectly captured the romance of old California. With its white stucco walls, red tile roof, and graceful arched doorways, the home featured approximately 8,000 square feet of living space. The home included 6 bedrooms to accommodate their large family. Roy and Dale had 9 children between them, including biological, adopted, and foster children, reflecting their deep commitment to family values. What made the Chatsworth Ranch truly special wasn't just the main house, but the entire compound. The property featured multiple barns and stables that housed Rogers' famous horses, including the legendary Trigger, who lived in climate-controlled luxury. There was a full riding arena where Rogers could practice his roping and riding skills, maintaining the authentic cowboy abilities that made his on-screen performances so believable. The ranch also included several guest houses, a caretaker's cottage, and even a small museum building where Rogers displayed his growing collection of Western memorabilia, guns, saddles, and awards. But the ranch wasn't just for show, it was a genuine working property where Rogers raised cattle and horses, staying connected to the cowboy lifestyle that had made him famous. Neighbors and visitors would frequently spot Rogers riding the property line, always in character as the friendly, approachable cowboy hero. In the 1960s, as development began encroaching on Chatsworth, Roy and Dale made the decision to relocate to the high desert community of Apple Valley, California. This move represented both a desire for more privacy and a return to the wide-open spaces that had always called to Rogers' cowboy heart. The Apple Valley Ranch became their primary residence and would remain so for the rest of their lives, becoming synonymous with the Rogers legacy. The Apple Valley property sat on approximately 67 acres of desert landscape, offering stunning views of the surrounding mountains and that endless blue sky that defined the American West. The main house was a more modest affair compared to the Chatsworth mansion, but it was built specifically to Roy and Dale's specifications and perfectly suited their needs as they entered the later phases of their lives. The single-story ranch-style home featured around 4,000 square feet, with large windows designed to capture the spectacular desert views and sunsets that painted the sky in brilliant oranges and purples each evening. The interior of the Apple Valley home reflected a more mature, refined Western aesthetic. Rather than the movie-set glamour of earlier homes, this residence featured comfortable, lived-in spaces filled with family photographs, Christian iconography — both Roy and Dale were devout Christians — and carefully curated pieces from their decades in show business. The home included a spacious great room with vaulted ceilings and another impressive stone fireplace, a country-style kitchen where Dale enjoyed cooking, and a private master suite with direct access to outdoor patios. One room was dedicated entirely to their awards, gold records, and memorabilia from their extraordinary careers. Like the Chatsworth property before it, the Apple Valley Ranch was a working property with extensive facilities for horses and other animals. Rogers built modern stables and a covered riding arena, ensuring he could pursue his passion for horsemanship year-round despite the desert's temperature extremes. The property also featured the Roy Rogers and Dale Evans Museum, which opened in 1967 and became a major tourist attraction. The museum displayed an incredible collection of Western memorabilia, costumes from their films and television shows, Roy's extensive gun collection, and, most famously, the mounted remains of Trigger, Buttermilk, Dale's horse, and Bullet, which caused some controversy but reflected the era's different attitudes towards such displays. The Rogers were deeply involved in the Apple Valley community, frequently opening their ranch for charitable events, church gatherings, and visits from children's groups. Their generosity and accessibility made them beloved local figures, not just Hollywood royalty passing through. Rogers could often be seen driving his pickup truck around town, stopping to chat with locals, always maintaining that down-to-earth quality that had endeared him to fans for decades. The Apple Valley Ranch wasn't a retreat from the world. It was the Rogers family's way of creating a Western paradise where they could live their values while remaining connected to the community. While Chatsworth and Apple Valley were the Rogers' primary residences, their real estate portfolio extended beyond these signature properties. But these two were their most beloved. As you can see, from a modest childhood picking peaches in California to becoming the king of the cowboys with a real estate empire spanning the Golden State, Roy Rogers lived a truly American success story. The Apple Valley Ranch remained in the Rogers family until Dale Evans' death in 2001, serving as a testament to a life well lived and a love story that captivated America. Though the museum eventually closed and relocated, and the property has since changed hands, the memory of Roy Rogers riding across his desert ranch remains etched in the history of American entertainment. If you enjoyed this tour through the homes of the King of the Cowboys, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and happy trails.